it back, 'cause it ain't worth the trouble. You can't save my soul.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to Thursday night All-American Cup Series action. It's rowdy up in the booth for 80 laps at Pocono. I got permission from league owner Casey Garrington to get as intoxicated as I want, and baby, we have tripped the trigger. Welcome in. It's a beautiful day here at Pocono, Thursday night racing. It's going to be race at number 10 of the season. And Jared Ray Hutton is sitting on pole in the 50. Let's talk to him. Jared Ray, rowdy up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Jared Ray, are we winning today?
Hope so.
What do you got to do to win here at Legacy Pocono?
Stay in front. Don't lose that goddamn track position because the dirty air is going to be awful today.
All righty. Thank you, Jared. We're going to send you back down. And that's it from Jared Ray Hutton to his outside, two-time winner in his rookie season. Won last week at Dover. It's Andrew Skelnick. And the third spot belongs to a man that came close to winning before, still just barely missing the mark to get his first. Michael Mullins with good track position. Will tonight be the night for him? And the fourth spot, Nathan Jurgensen, another rookie who's been standout. He's been having really good top 10, multiple top 5 runs. Expect for him to stay in the top 5. And then Curtis White. He's out here in the 63 machine, has put some really good runs together. Can one of the biggest veterans here at All-American Cup Series get himself a win? The pace car is going to pull off. 28 cars will make the call here tonight. Green flag is up, green flag is out, and we are racing here at Legacy Pocono. Down the back straightaway, cars already trying to fan out, 2 and 3 wide. Andrew Skelnick pitched the car, had to get out of it. Excuse me, that was Jared Ray Hutton. Andrew Skelnick's to the outside right now, trying to grab that lead. Battle is on for second and a fourth. Nathan Jurgensen and Michael Mullins side by side for third. Mullins lead to the inside of Skelnick for second. Curtis White inside of Lil Peters for fourth. Down the side straightaway exit of the tunnel turn. Turn 2, they go into a wide sweeping turn 3. Michael Mullins getting back out in front of Andrew Skelnick. Mullins into second. Nathan Jurgensen has moved up to the 4th spot, getting around Curtis White. You can hear Jared Ray Hutton there shifting into turn 1. That's became a preference of a lot of Gen 4 NASCAR veterans. Since this new car has came out, you can downshift into turn 1, and it helps you. It just gains time. It makes these guys faster, whether it's because the car gets rotated better or they get the power down quicker. Not really sure who's to say on that, but it seems to be the preference for your leader as he gets nearly a 1-second lead, even with the draft. Michael Mullins, Nathan Jurgensen battling. Andrew Skelnick right behind with Curtis White in tow. Nathan Jurgensen trying to drive his way into the top 2 on board. But Nathan Jurgensen misses the entry to the corner, walks it up the track. Here comes Andrew Skelnick on the inside, but he can't get there. unable to close in on that gap. Will Peters all over the rear bumper of the 63 right now. Jared Ray Hutton leads at the flag stand. Connor LaFrance inside of Josh Dillon. That's, Stephen Miles. That's going to be for the 11th spot. Stephen Miles will re-clear. Here comes Christopher Murphy. They work down the back straightaway. Ethan again in the 97, making a move on the 66 of Thomas Stokes. Not quite clear as they come off of turn 2 into turn 3 here. That is the preferred line. Thomas Stokes still leaning on his right rear as they enter the corner. Thomas Stokes battling hard to hang on to this outside line in position, but Ethan again will have a tight clear there into the 8th spot. Meanwhile, Michael Mullins still working on Nathan Jurgensen. Jurgensen moves low to break the draft. Oh, maybe even contact there. Jurgensen into the 2nd position. Mullins 3rd. Skelnick 4th. This is what Jared Ray Hutton sees out of his mirror. Even in turn 2, he's downshifting. So more than likely downshifting in every corner of the racetrack right now. Thomas Stokes now has the 99, driving up his inside of Dayton Taylor. Dayton in a brand new looking race car for this event. Switching it up to a red and white scheme from the blue and white. Dayton Taylor inside Thomas Stokes, still trying to get clear, gets the power down, has the car out in front. He'll move up. Right behind them is the one car is Stephen Miles. On board with Stephen. He's going to miss the bottom of the corner. Dayton hit it pretty well. Stokes not so much. League owner Casey Carrington, winner of the World 300, making a move on Will Peters for the 6th position. On board with Carrington as he flies down the front straightaway and begins his lap number 7. Will Peters hangs out in his rear view mirror. Casey Carrington into 6th in front of Curtis White. Then Andrew Skelnick, who's still trying to stay within range of Michael Mullins. And then Nathan Jurgensen trying to pull away. He is currently re-catching Jared Ray Hutton, reeling him in. Jurgensen does not shift in turn 2, but he does in turn 3. He didn't quite get the kick of rotation out of the car I think he could have gotten. He might have tried to oversave it with the wheel. But he is slowly reeling in Jared Ray Hutton. Jared not having a good post 8 laps already at Pocono of a run here. He's just struggling a lot right now with that distance. I'm going to assume it's from wearing out those tires a little extra. He did drive to the lead immediately, but he's also very aggressive in that gearbox, which means he's probably very aggressive on how he uses up his brakes, probably going for a more sliding line through 2 instead of checking up hard and making the corner on exit. So that's the difference between a guy at Pocono that has a lot of initial speed and then somebody who is able to consistently reel in those faster guys at the end of the run. Right now, that seems to be Nathan Jurgensen. He's already gained 2 tenths since we first started talking about this gap. Jurgensen, he's not making that car step out a whole lot. He's just hitting his mark on the bottom of the racetrack, downshifts here and there, and now he's been able to reel into under half a second on your pole sitter, Jared Ray Hunton. You can see there, Jurgensen's just getting a lot closer right now. Doing a really good job at getting to the bottom of the racetrack. Even when he downshifted into the 3, it stuck the left rear down on the bottom groove. Left front on the bottom groove. So then he could stay down there and get a better rotation. That's allowed him now to really gain in on on Ray Hunton. Right now we're looking at about 23 laps on a full tank of fuel, having right around 13 to go on that mark. Whole mess of cars back here driving pretty aggressively up and down out of the corners trying to find some runs. Stephen Miles, big move to the inside of Lil Peters. Thought he was going to run her over there for a second. Christopher Murphy to the inside of Thomas Stokes. That's a battle for the 9th spot. Ethan again runs 8th. That's a 3-car of James Silvers making the move to the inside of Christopher Murphy. And Thomas Stokes gets to the inside of Ethan again. So Stokes into 8th, Silvers into 10th, and Love Peters might try to get back to Christopher Murphy here. Stephen Miles right behind. Nice battle going on the back half of the top 10. And meanwhile, Jared Ray Hunton, he's getting hounded right now by Nathan Jurgensen. Jurgensen getting closer. Every 2 laps, he gets about a 10th on him. So look at that right there. He gets to the downshift where he could probably throttle back up and let the rear end slide around to get him within reach. But he doesn't do that. He prioritizes trying to hit the apex of the corner. Even if it's late, get the left rears down there and touch it. Know that you're maximizing your line. And that's what it really takes out of somebody who wants to chip away at a lead, a 10th every handful of laps. What it takes to be that perfect was seen in the difference there in turn 3. Yeah, Jared Ray Hunton's got about half a 10th back, nearly a full 10th, but it's going to fluctuate. When Jurgensen gets in that dirty air, the car is going to feel different in turn 2, where he doesn't really have an option of what line to run. But when he gets to run his own specific line, we see it in 3 more than we see it even in turn 1. He puts that nose where there's clean air, his rotation point, right when he gets in the dirty air, so he can get back in the throttle confidently. But it looks like Jared Ray Hunton is starting to beat him. As we begin lap number 14 here, Jared Ray Hunton put another 10th on Jurgensen. So right now, whatever Jared Ray Hunton is doing, it's working. He might have cleaned up turn 2 a bit. He was making sure he hit the bottom of that corner. keeping that car stuck to the bottom. He's even getting a little bit quicker in turn 3 than Jurgensen right now. A lot of movement going on just outside the top 10 right now. Steven Miles, Lil Peters are going at it. That's for the 12th spot. They're all over the bumper. Christopher Murphy. Meanwhile, behind, Daniel Giraud, Conor LaFrance, and Jacob Lisi having a battle of their own. Steven Miles gets in front of Christopher Murphy. Murphy looks back to the inside. Look at how hard these guys drive just to try to get close to the top 10. Wolf Peters all over the rear bumper right now of Steven Miles as they head down the side straight. Here they go into turn 2. Steven Miles will power along the outside line, get in front of the 21. Lilith was better through that corner. She's now going to look to the inside of Christopher Murphy. Even out of 3 between the pair. Battle now for the 12th spot. Murphy will re-clear. Behind is Conor LaFrance in the 29, who's gotten around Daniel Giraud and Jacob Alicia. And the 15th spot, Giraud 16th, under threat of being passed by Mitchell Mark in the 17th position. Jared Ray Hunt doing a really good job at getting a little bit of a gap built back up to Nathan Jurgensen. At one point, it was right around 3/10. Now it's back up to 6/10. Most of the field now pretty much single file as we watch them all fly by just in front of the start-finish line. The entire field driving in a line. Jared Ray Hutton leading by 0.6 of a second, nearly 7. You can see there, Jurgensen is starting to miss that bottom line in turn 2. He was doing a really good job of staying down there a handful of laps before. But now he needs to figure something out. Closest battle on track, closest to the front right now. Thomas Stokes, Dayton Taylor battling it out for 7th. Taylor in front of Stokes. Stokes trying to build the run, kept that nose at a dirty air as much as he could. Gets back in the throttle at a good pace. Using the shifter to run the top line. He gets underneath Dayton Taylor, moves Dayton Taylor out of the groove, but he can't capitalize. Pushing a little bit too much on exit, puts him back behind the 99. Stokes will look for it on the inside. They're side by side, meanwhile, Casey and Carrington, first car to hit pit road. This is a short pit. Stokes, Taylor, side by side into turn 1. Stokes will take the lead on entry. What about exit? Dayton Taylor's right there, but nothing doing. Stokes with the bobble. And he'll hang on to 6th. As now Michael Mullins trying to work on Curtis White for the 4th spot. Mullins putting that nose in clean air. No, he's going to head down pit road. Michael Mullins decides it's his turn to pit. Dayton Taylor is with him. So is Justin Silvers and Connor LaFrance. So they'll enter pit road. Michael Mullins, Dayton Taylor, Connor LaFrance, James Silvers, Mike Husby, and Casey Carrington. Jared Ray Hunton out front by 1 second over Nathan Jurgensen, Andrew Skelnick third. Curtis White sits fourth. Thomas Stokes fifth. Ethan Again sixth. Stephen Miles seventh. Wolf Peters eighth. Christopher Murphy ninth. Jacob Alicia rounds out the top 10 so far. Still waiting for guys to hit pit road, as now it seems like the window is open. Curtis White, he'll hit pit road, and so will Christopher Murphy. He's down pit road as Daniel Giroux following, Mitchell Mark, Justin Ray, and Jeremy Flanagan. Jared Ray Hutton, when will he decide to hit pit road? It will be this time. Jared Ray Hutton into pit road. Andrew Skelnick, he will follow. And here comes Thomas Stokes. He'll hit it as well. There's Stephen Miles. And I think Jacob Alicia is rounding turn 3 to also hit pit road. Just about everybody that was left in the top 10 yet to pit have made it down. Ethan Again, he will stay out with Lil Peters and Chris Worrell. Walker McNulty still yet to pit. Dylan Rosenberg yet to pit. Craig Martin yet to pit. And Carolus Thiel making his first start of the season yet to pit. Jared Ray Hutton, here he is. This is the battle off of pit road exit. Nathan Jurgensen's already out there on track up the speed. He's on the outside. This is the battle for the relative lead. And Jared Ray Hutton will get out in front with a 2-lap tire advantage. Here comes Jurgensen to the outside. Into the tunnel turn, Jurgensen up top. And he'll track around Jared Ray Hutton. But remember, your pole sitter and leader when he started pitting, he's on 2-lap fresher tires. That's a big difference in this series, especially with these cars. So Nathan Jurgensen needs to start putting down clean, consistent lap times and be ready, because Jared Ray Hutton could run him down later. And they'll cycle to the lead as the rest of the field that had yet to pit finally make it down pit road. Andrew Skelnick, he's not far behind in the third position. Same strategy as Jared Ray Hutton. They pit the first lap, lap 21. And I think Jared Ray Hutton's going to let Nathan Jurgensen get in front a little bit. He's trying to pull away. Never mind. Yellow flag is out. Chris Worrell's driving through the grass. I don't see anybody else with damage. We'll have to take out a replay for Chris Worrell. This is Andrew Skelnick exiting pit road. What goes wrong? Rejoins the racetrack. Cold tires are cold. The car will step out from underneath him. He's going to do a slide right in front of these cars. That's what brings out the yellow. And then he goes mudding for the second half of that incident. And that'll bring out your first yellow just after pit stops, which is nice. It didn't happen during the cycle. Chris Worrell, 20th position currently. Nathan Jurgensen will now have to endure a restart. Jared Ray Hunt, Andrew Skelnick, second and third. Fresher tires, by 1 lap. And then it's Michael Mullins, Curtis White, Casey Carrington, Dayton Taylor, Thomas Stokes, and James Silvers. Y'all ever see TikToks of that one, like, blonde midget girl? She's, like, in college, but she, like, some midgets don't look normal. They look ugly, but she actually, like, looks hot. I've been in love with her lately. Next time by, we will see the green flag. Barney giving them the 1-to-go signal this time by. 25 laps have been scored here in our 80-lap race at Legacy Pocono. And it looks like Nathan Jurgensen will elect the top line. Alrighty, Nathan Jurgensen, Jared Ray Hunt, and Michael Mullins, Andrew Skelnick, Casey Carrington, Curtis White, Dayton Taylor, Thomas Stokes, James Silvers, Connor LaFrance. Your top 10, Jurgensen from the outside lane will lead them to green. We're back racing at Pocono. Good launch out of Jurgensen. Meanwhile, Michael Mullins, Jared Ray Hutton, and Casey Carrington engage in a battle. Carrington, worst tires, oldest tires of your top 5. He's making a move to the outside right now. They were 3 wide for a moment. Now he has Jared Ray Hutton underneath him in the 50. Mullins second, Jurgensen first. Casey Carrington still trying to make moves. He's in that 4th spot. Just behind him, Thomas Stokes, Andrew Skelnick, Connor LaFrance. They're battling it out just on the back half of your top 10. Dayton Taylor inside of Thomas Stokes, trying to set up the pass for 6th. Stokes battles back on the outside, back into 6th. Here comes Connor LaFrance on board. Here comes Connor LaFrance up the inside. Really good drive, got past Dayton Taylor and draws even with Casey Carrington. Really good run on the bottom side of the racetrack. Thomas Stokes right now working on Andrew Skelnick. Pass for 4th. Connor LaFrance even with Casey Carrington right now. Connor LaFrance all the way to the inside into the tunnel turn. Skelnick re-clears Stokes. Connor LaFrance into 6th. And here comes Curtis White. Curtis White in the 8th spot, driving his way up the inside. Andrew Skelnick outside of Thomas Stokes right now. Connor LaFrance outside of Casey Carrington. Looks like Carrington will get cleared by LaFrance. Meanwhile, Stokes and Skelnick still side by side. LaFrance is able to drive back underneath LaFrance. Carrington. Andrew Skelnick, Thomas Stokes still side by side for 4th, excuse me. Casey Carrington re-clears for 6th. Over Connor LaFrance, here comes Dayton Taylor. Side by side still, Skelnick, last week's winner, and Stokes fighting hard. Stokes still looking for his first win and a really good season for him. He and Skelnick have been about matched. Skelnick will re-clear into 4th. Thomas Stokes 5th, Casey Carrington 6th. Stephen Miles, Christopher Murphy, Jacob Alicia battling for 10th. 11th. Alicia in the 7 on the inside. Drives it to the bottom. Still side by side, battle for 12th. Stephen Miles. Looks like he'll re-clear around the top. The top line seems to be advantage. Oh, hard contact with the wall. That was the 92 of Daniel Giroux. Hit the wall hard on the extra to turn one. Meanwhile, James Silver still trying to work around Jacob Alicia. Thomas Stokes, Andrew Skelnick back to being side by side again. Stokes fourth. Skelnick falls back in line for fifth. But he's going to be able to get a pole all the way down the straightaway utilizing that draft. Skelnick back up the inside. Stokes around the top. He'll re-clear for fourth. Skelnick back in line. Here comes Casey Carrington. He's in the sixth spot. Looking to the inside of Skelnick. Into turn three, Casey Carrington jumps it in there, and he will clear. 3-lap tire difference, by the way. So Casey on those older tires doing a really good job. Spent some time saving. Jared Ray Hunton catching back up to Michael Mullins for second. Within 0.3 right now as Jurgensen pulls away to a 1.6 second lead. Jared Ray Hunton staying in the draft as Michael Mullins tried to break it. Into turn one, both cars are shifting. Jared Ray hangs out on the bottom a little bit longer to wrap it and have the apex of the corner. Michael Mullins re-throttles up a little bit sooner. That hurts the tires. Can even make you plow and hit the outside wall. Really good turn two for Jared Ray Hunton. Here he comes. Hunton the second position to the inside into turn three. Get that left front a little bit lower here. Double apex. He will, and now he'll drive off. He'll be right in the wake of Michael Mullins down this long front straightaway. Jared Ray will show the inside early. Has to get back in line. Will he try something into turn one? No, he won't. But Michael Mullins loose there on entry. Rear end steps out. Moves up the track. Jared Ray Hunton now on the inside. Meanwhile, Nathan Jurgensen, 2-second lead. Will Jared Ray Hunton start to reel him in on those one-lap fresher tires? Jurgensen's done a really good job at mitigating this gap. But now Jared Ray Hunton's going to have full ability to flex. See what he's got. Now the gap, nearly 2 seconds. That's your gap right now. 2.1 seconds. Jared Ray Hunton trying to close in. little bit better out of 3 and into 1. Jared Ray Hunt, that's probably his first worst lap so far, but he gets a really good run of momentum down the side straightaway into turn 2, so he's doing something right on this part of the racetrack, keeping the gap at 2 seconds flat, although Jared Ray Hunt is slowly reeling him in. The question is, will we hit pit stops before he gets close enough to make something happen? We're on lap 38. These guys could go to right around lap 43 to 45 is the window. Jared Ray Hutton within 2 seconds here. Through the tunnel turn, Jared Ray Hutton still keeping it a 1.9 gap. Really methodical right now with his driving nose. Even if he gains very little, it's still gaining. Don't over push the car. Really good in turn 3 for Jared Ray Hutton. Michael Mullins, he'll be the first to pit for your second set of pit stops. The only leader to do so. Jared Ray Hunt now within 1.7, nearly 1.8 seconds. Ethan again. Dayton Taylor battling. Dayton Taylor's been driving his way slowly into the top 5. He gets around Ethan again. And now has 3/10 behind Casey Carrington. None of your top 10 hit pit road that time by. So definitely an early pit out of Michael Mullins. Nathan Jurgensen right now has Jared Ray Hutton closing him in. At one point does he pit. Jared Ray Hutton now 1.6 seconds. Nathan Jurgensen feeling the need to try to cut the draft down the straightaway. I don't think Hutton is that close. Meanwhile, Casey Carrington in the pit road with Stephen Miles and Christopher Murphy. Daniel Giroux crash report off of turn 1. We stay green. He's just down in the grass. Issues for Daniel Giroux. Let's find it. Daniel Giroux had already hit pit road. He's on fresh tires, but cold tires, and he'll lose it. Just like what we saw earlier in the race. Jurgensen, Jared Ray Hutton, Thomas Stokes, Andrew Skelnick, Dayton Taylor, your top 5. A couple of other guys have already hit pit road. Mike Husby rolls down pit road. Andrew Skelnick still trying to run down Thomas Stokes. Dayton Taylor got around Ethan again for 5th. Dogfight going on right here. Dylan Rosenberg leads Chris Worrell, then James Silvers, who's just dropped to the 12th spot. Lilf Peters 13th. Mitchell Mark, he's in 14th. he gets around Daniel Giroux. Jared Ray Hunton now 1.3 seconds back off of Jurgensen. Hutton is reeling him in, but we're so close to the pit window. Forget what I just said. Chris Worrell, wrecked race car on the straightaway exiting turn 1. Front end tore off. Nearly hanging on by some fiberglass threads. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the replay. Chris Worrell was battling hard with some of those guys back there just outside the top 10. Here he is to the outside of James Silvers. This is in turn 1. What goes wrong? Close on the door is Silvers. Silvers pushes up the corner, gets into him, and finishes him off. Silvers just comes up, gets into his left rear. He almost has it saved, but Lilth Peters net codes into his left rear. Silver still didn't check up enough. And around goes Chris Worrell. So now we'll roll into green flag pit stops for the entirety of the field. Now the guys that hit pit road already, from Casey Carrington down to Stephen Miles, Curtis White, Christopher Murphy, Mike Husby, they're all going to cycle up to the front, but they'll just have about 3 to 4 lap older tires than the rest of these guys that are going to hit pit road here. But that's the trade-off. So Jurgensen will lead these guys into pit road. We're going to watch the battle off of pit road. We're going to wait right here on pit exit. Jared Ray Hunton, first down pit road. Can he hang on to that top spot here of the guys that hit pit road on exit? Be ready. That's Jacob Lisi out of his box. Stephen Miles, Carnal LaFrance, Thomas Stokes, Nathan Jurgensen. Did Jurgensen get Jared Ray Hunton at the line? No. Jared Ray Hunton wins the race off of pit road. Jurgensen right there. And then Thomas Stokes comes out behind him. Michael Mullins will inherit the lead. Then it's Casey Carrington, Stephen Miles, Christopher Murphy, Mike Husby, Dayton Taylor, Curtis White, Jared Ray Hunton, Nathan Jurgensen, Thomas Stokes, your top 10. Next time by, we will get the 1-to-go signal. Alrighty, green flag is back in the hands of the flagman. Michael Mullins will lead them to green. Green flag is up, green flag is out. We're back racing at Legacy Pocono. Michael Mullins, Casey Carrington, they're going to enter turn one, nearly even. Carrington, really good launch with Mullins. He's to the inside. Christopher Murphy third, Dayton Taylor fourth, around the outside of Stephen Miles. Oh, wrecking in the back. I see Mitchell Mark, Josh Dillon, down in the grass. The pair might have made contact. Back to the front. Mullins out front. Christopher Murphy in second, trying to go to the outside of Casey Carrington. Dayton Taylor is there. Three wide just behind. There's a fight back there. Curtis White, Jared Ray Hutton, and Stephen Miles. Jared Ray Hutton still out front, the closest car to the front on those fresh tires. Jurgensen down to the inside. He's trying to make a move. Skelnick behind the one car, Stephen Miles. Miles into the wall. Everybody moving up and down as they exit turn one. Jurgensen inside of Curtis White. Trying to stay within range of Jared Ray Hutton. Dayton Taylor, Casey Carrington, third and fourth. Jurgensen making the move on Curtis White for seventh. He will take it. Casey Carrington inside of Dayton Taylor for third. Taylor rotating better on exit. He'll have him cleared here, exit of one. On board with Jurgensen, trying to stay within range of Jared Ray Hutton. The two front guys on the freshest tires feel like they have the best shot to win. Thomas Stokes also pit on lap 45. He's right behind Nathan Jurgensen. Dayton Taylor beginning to work on Christopher Murphy. On board with Taylor to the inside. Down the back straightaway, Dayton Taylor trying to make the pass for second, and he will. Dayton Taylor now into second. Jurgensen still fighting. Was fighting Mike Husby. Now Jared Ray Hutton puts Thomas Stokes in between them. Thomas Stokes got around Jurgensen. Competitively matched tires, so Jurgensen now has to watch Stokes try to run down Jared Ray Hutton. Hutton now to the rear bumper of Casey Carrington for fourth. Oh my gosh, in the back, Curtis White nearly had that car up in the air. Andrew Skelnick involved. Now we're finally yellow flag. Dylan Rosenberg, heavy front end damage. Did he run into Curtis White? I'm not sure. Curtis White, huge front end damage. Let's find a replay. Curtis White in the 63. Andrew Skelnick to his outside. Just outside the top 10. Comes across the nose of Skelnick. Skelnick into Rosenberg towards the inside wall. Oh, wow! Who was that? Wow! Wow! So here he comes up across the nose of Skelnick. Skelnick gets the tires on top of his hood, comes down and gets Rosenberg. Curtis White keeping it out of the racing surface, throttles back up, and somebody from out of nowhere, I think that might have been the 72 Jeremy Flanagan, it was, just runs him over like he doesn't know what's going on. Oh my gosh, we weren't even on the right screen. We need to go back to the replay. I hit the wrong screen that entire time. Hold on. We're going to get there. I'm a little wasted. So watch here. You're going to have Curtis White come across the nose of Andrew Skelnick. And then while he's up and out of the way, here comes the 72 and Jeremy Flanagan. And I mean, he's just not even lifting and runs over Curtis White. That's what officially brought out the yellow. Wow. Halfway through this run, a big wreck like that, taking out two favorites. Andrew Skelnick trying to go for career win number 3. Not looking good. Curtis White had a lot of speed. His front end is gone. Dylan Rosenberg was involved. He's out on pit road with Jeremy Flanagan. And it's a mixed match of cars. Who goes in? Who stays out? More cars hit pit road than cars that stay out of pit road. So Dayton Taylor, Casey Carrington, Jared Ray Hunton, Thomas Stokes, Nathan Jurgensen, Jacob Alicia, James Silvers, Connor LaFrance, your top 8 who have decided to stay out. And now we're going to watch the battle for 9th. And I think this is just a top off fuel. We're not taking tires yet. You're not good to the end yet either. Unless you can find a way to save about 3 laps of fuel. We got time. Let's talk to old Dayton Taylor in the 99. I don't see Dayton Taylor anywhere. Uh-oh. These guys know the rules. They need to be in a call to be interviewed. So Dayton Taylor breaking rules right now. Casey Carrington will restart to his inside. Dayton Taylor takes the outside. Jared Ray Hunt in 3rd, Thomas Stokes 4th, Nathan Jurgensen 5th, Jacob Alicia 6th, James Silver 7th, Connor LaFrance 8th, and then these drivers topped off fuel: Michael Mullins, Christopher Murphy, Stephen Miles, Mike Cusby, Craig Martin, Ethan again, Mitchell Mark, running out the top 15. Those guys all hit pit road for extra fuel, not for tires. Alrighty, we sit waiting on the start-finish line. Still one more pit stop in the books tonight before we could call it a race. Dayton Taylor will restart on the outside. First into the restart zone to the outside of Casey Carrington. Back racing at Pocono. Carrington inside of Dayton Taylor. Falls back behind. Meanwhile, Jacob Alicia outside of Jared Ray Hutton for the fourth spot, trying to rotate the outside. On board with Jacob Alicia. Shows us what it looks like as you get into the tunnel turn there. Cars all around him. I just had a massive blink out for Nathan Jurgensen, making sure it wasn't him wrecking, but he's still not blinked in, which is not good. Nathan Jurgensen may be officially out of this race. Jurgensen still yet to appear on track. This is huge. Jurgensen officially out of the race due to connection loss. Listed as a DNF at the moment. Oh, you hate to see that. Casey Carrington second, Thomas Stokes third, Alicia fourth. Who is that all loose back there? That's Ethan again. He'll hang on to it. That was gnarly. On board for the replay. Watch him here. Exit of turn one, lays on it. Woo! What an adventure. So Dayton Taylor getting a half a second lead over Carrington. Alicia now has to worry about Thomas Stokes. Alicia in the third. Thomas Stokes trying to take it back as they head down the front straightaway. Jared Ray Hutton sits in fifth. On board with Jared Ray Hutton as he watches this battle here. So Jacob Alicia will lose that spot to Thomas Stokes. Alicia fighting hard to get it back, trying to stay within the draft, but Stokes got around him on matched tires. I don't think Alicia can just get it right back. The official word from Nathan Jurgensen, his computer froze, the game crashed. Oh, you hate to see that. Oh, no. Meanwhile, Dayton Taylor up front, 9/10 back, Casey Carrington, then Thomas Stokes, Jacob Alicia, and Jared Ray Hutton. Alicia falls back off of Stokes. Meanwhile, Michael Mullins trying to run down Jared Ray Hutton. He's to his inside. Michael Mullins, by the way, lap 53, unless he saved on 45 and took fresh tires on the lap 53 caution. He's still moving pretty well. If those are lap 45 tires, he's came up a few positions. That extra few gallons in the tank of fuel he can really have a good strategy for the end of this race. Reminder, we are one pit stop away from the end of this race at Pocono. And we're just about close to opening up the window for the drivers that did not top off fuel in lap 53. For those guys, they won't have to pit till right around lap 76, 77. So your drivers that pit as early as lap 41 in Casey Carrington will be seeing pit road in the next lap or two. Dayton Taylor, Thomas Stokes, Jacob Alicia can go out a little bit longer, as well as Jared Ray Hunt and Connor LaFrance and James Silvers. Mike Cusby trying to battle Christopher Murphy for 8th. Mike Cusby having a nice run here. Was outside of the top 10, nearly the top 15 for most of this race. Now into 9th. Casey Carrington now battles with Thomas Stokes. Jared Ray Hutton has decided to hit pit road, the first of those drivers to do so that absolutely have to. Casey Carrington, remember, he hit pit on lap 41, so he has less fuel than Jared Ray Hutton, so he must be nearly on fumes for Hutton to pit this early. Thomas Stokes hangs on to second. On a top 5 breakaway from Taylor to Mullins. Mullins starting to catch Jacob Alicia for 4th. And there goes Michael Mullins into pit road. By the way, he pit on lap 53. This is quite the early pit. This is an early pit by maybe even 10 laps. Why hit pit road this early? You're good on fuel, but you must not be confident about the tires. I don't think this is the best decision for him. We have just lost eye overlay, now it's back. Dayton Taylor out front, Thomas Stokes second. Casey Carrington, Jacob Alicia third and fourth. Within 2 seconds of each other. Mike Cusby, he's down on pit road. He drove his way into the top 10. Thomas Stokes also visited pit road. He's about to exit. Now he's jacking up the left sides, So a couple of other front runners already made their way down. Meanwhile, Dayton Taylor has your lead. Behind him, Casey Carrington and Jacob Alicia. Your relative leader right now appears to be Thomas Stokes. Michael Mullins. Michael Mullins pit lap 63. It was pretty early. Thomas Stokes comes out lap 64. Jared Ray Hutton just behind. So your relative lead right now belongs to Mullins But he has drivers closing in quickly. Jurgensen at the moment returning to the racing surface. 7 laps down, but out here to keep thugging it out and finish off what was a terrible points day to now at least try to get something salvageable. But man, he could have had a win here tonight. He was looking good. Closest battle on track, closest to the front, Chris Worrell is catching Craig Martin 2/10 off. Craig Martin in the 22, Chris Worrell in the 06. Craig Martin did not have a good time at Dover last week, looking to do a little bit better here tonight. I'd say he is. Casey Carrington, he'll hit pit road. Appears Dayton Taylor will as well. Dayton Taylor's down on pit road. He was your leader. That'll hand it over to Christopher Murphy in the 21. So these are your final pit stops of the race. Everybody can make it to fuel now. Right now it's all about, where do you want to be in terms of tires? Do you want to have fresher tires than the rest of the field? Okay, how long do you stay out? What's the difference maker? If you want to try to undercut the leader, you could pit earlier, come out near him. Final run of the race, you really put the pedal to the metal. Who knows what kind of ground you can make up? Chris Worrell, he'll enter pit road. Here comes Giroux, Skelnick, and McNulty by. But at the moment, Michael Mullins, still your relative leader. Behind him, just down the straightaway, is Thomas Stokes. 4 seconds off. Then it's Casey Carrington. Then Jared Ray. Remember, Casey Carrington now has the freshest tires of the race. Chris Worrell's about to take that. Chris Worrell just now exiting pit road. And we're still waiting on Christopher Murphy, Stephen Miles, Craig Martin, Lilith Peters, Daniel Giroux, Andrew Skelnick, Walter McNulty, Mitchell Mark, and Dominic Russo to hit pit road. We're nearly 70 laps to go. Christopher Murphy's yet to pit, and I need to finish my last drink. Hit the pin 1 or 2 more times. And to really embrace the finish of this race here at Pocono. Ten to go for Murphy. As far as I understand, he can't make it on fuel. He's got to be just about to the end of that tank.
Yellow flag is out.
Yellow flag was come out to bail him out. I got an instant report out of James Silvers. He has some left rear damage. I don't see anything else wrong with that car. Let's take a look at the replay. pushes up into Josh Dillon. Josh Dillon back down the track. Wow, that could have been intentional. He's just flying. Oh, look at the wheel turned all the way to the left. On board with Josh Dillon. Let me try to get that for you. We'll have to look the manual way for Josh Dillon, but we got to get some answers. Here we go. It doesn't look as intentional from the in-car view. Could he have tried a little bit harder? Maybe, but does not look intentional. But I'll bring out a yellow and allow Christopher Murphy, Stephen Miles, Craig Martin, Lilith Peters, Daniel Giroux, Andrew Skelnick, and Walter McNulty, plus Mitchell Mark and Dominic Russo to have tire advantage here. But because Pocono is so big, nobody went a lap down. They don't get those spots back because the field isn't getting waved around. So they will drop all the way behind, it appears, Mike Husby or James Silvers. A lot of ground to make up. Just because you have fresh tires doesn't mean you have enough time or can make up enough ground, because that's going to be right around a dozen positions they'll have to pass on track. We're going to wait for the field to pit on pit road exit and count the battle between who goes in and who comes out. By the way, I just got word, made a mistake. Those drivers that stayed out are not good to the end. We should still have one more pit stop. I was told 23 laps on fuel. It's lap 73. Maybe there's a little bit more to help them save. But we're not actually good to the end across the board. Everybody that just pit now is right around 2 laps short. So that was a missed call by me, but it puts it back in perspective. Your top 11 have to pit no matter what. P12 through P18 got to save as hard as they can. James Silvers, Justin Ray, Dominic Russo, Elijah Cole, Josh Dillon, Curtis White have all pit again during this lap. All it does is give them an EOL, but it gives them 1 extra lap of fuel in the tank. Is that enough to get to the end where the majority of the field in front of you either has to pit or needs to save crucially? This just got interesting. And only at Pocono can you have a race get this interesting with the nearly 15 laps to go. Excuse me. Check that, 8 laps to go. If I was sober, I could do math. Next time by, we will see the green flag. Excuse me. Yes, we should be. This is the one to go signal. They'll line up side by side for what might be the final restart of this race. And I know the lap count has messed up. That's a new eye overlay glitch. We're racing to lap 85. I don't know why it changes it on us. That's not an option. That is a glitch. Again, we are not ending the race. The lap count is messed up thanks to iOverlay. We're racing to lap 85. I can reset it as soon as we feel the information provided is no longer essential, because that's what we will lose. Meanwhile, Dan Gilles-Giroux leads them to the restart zone. Walker McNulty, Mitchell Mark, Michael Mullins, Casey Carrington. To the start-finish line. We're back racing at Pocono. Mullins looks 3 wide, middle, gets across the nose of the 28, and we're nearly bottlenecking. Now cars are spinning. Mike Cusby, Carnel of France, Lilith Peters, Andrew Skelnick. The caution flag is out. Wow. So Michael Mullins tries to get 3 wide middle, comes down on the 38, and now nobody can really go anywhere. Mike Cusby's getting on the brakes. Lilith Peters is getting on the brakes, and there's finally going to be contact. You just can't check up that much. And that takes out about 6 cars. The 29 and the 47 go spinning as well. Now we're back under yellow. Everybody should pit here and be good to the end. So now I'm going to reset iOverlay. Like I said, the entire field will be good to the end once they hit pit road this time. Ladies and gentlemen, it might look like we get a natural green-white checkered. We're going to come back around for lap 78, take the 1 to go, take the white flag at lap 79. We are going to get a natural green-white checker to end this race. Can you believe that? All righty, Daniel Giroux will lead them to green. Walker McNulty, Casey Carrington, Thomas Stokes, Jacob Alisi, your top 5. Jared Ray Hunton, Dayton Taylor, Ethan Again, Andrew Skelnick, Michael Mullins, your top 10. This is going to be a natural. Green, white, checkered. We are not officially in overtime. We will end the race at regulation. Oh, this is going to be exciting. If we can keep it green, we're going to see a fight for the win. We wait for the field to get through turn 3. And at the flag stand, Giroux will have the command, looking for his first career win of season 11. Same for Walker McNulty. Casey Carrington, your league owner, trying to grab 2. Thomas Stokes looking for his first. Alicia for his first ever. Green flag is up. Green flag is out. We're back racing at Pocono. Green, white, checkered. Walker McNulty, he's in that 13 on the outside. Casey Carrington on the inside. Yellow flag will fall. Carter LaFrance, Stephen Miles around. And now we will go into overtime. On the replay, LaFrance all over the rear bumper of Husby. Miles, bad move to the inside, makes contact with the 29. And he's going to get retribution for it. Stephen Miles on his side. And now we'll go under pacing for this overtime. I'm officially out of booze. Daniel Giroux, let's talk to him. Daniel Giroux, rowdy up in the booth. You got a copy.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, I want to ask how you're doing. You got a green-white checkered in front of you between you and your first career win. Can you get it done here at Pocono? What are the chances, Mr. Giroux?
The only thing that I'm worried about is the fuel. I'll be super transparent because I don't care. We can't wreck again, or I have to pit. So if we go green in the end from here, it's perfect. And we did it. We timed it perfectly. But if not, then we'll just have to deal with it.
All right, Giroux, I'm excited for you. I'm going to send you back down.
All right. Wish me luck.
We'll send him back down with his piston broke teammates, Walker McNulty, to his outside in the 13. Walker on the same team as Daniel Giroux. Casey Carrington flying solo at the moment, it appears. Excuse me, he's with Andrew Skelnick and Mike Husby. Both those cars are wrecked out. So he's all by himself at the front. Thomas Stokes in his RPM team chat with Michael Mullins, Curtis White, and Elijah Cole. Alrighty, next time by, we'll see the green flag for your first of 3 regulated green-white checkers. Daniel Giroux will choose what lane he wants to start from. The rest of the field will file in. Daniel Giroux elects the bottom. Walker McNulty up top. Casey Carrington, Thomas Stokes, Jacob Alicia, Dayton Saylor, your top 3 rows. And what will be a green-white checkered? Giroux worried about fuel. I have to assume some of the same cars around him have the same feeling. He doesn't want to see another yellow come out. He won't have enough for a second green-white checkered. Alrighty. Our first of 3 green-white checkered overtime attempts. Daniel Giroux will lead them with Walker McNulty to his outside. Casey Carrington, Thomas Stokes, Jacob Alicia, Dayton Taylor, your top 3 rows. The last yellow was due to cars wrecking in the back. Can the top 6 get a chance to battle it out? Green flag is up. Green flag is out. We're going to go into restart overtime number 1 here at Pocono. Good launch for Giroux. Casey Carrington. He'll move into the second spot. Here comes Jacob Alicia up the inside for third. Walker McNulty going backwards at the moment. Casey Carrington around the outside of Daniel Giroux. Can he get there? No, he can't. Giroux will re-clear. They stay side by side on the back straightaway. Finally, Giroux pulls up. Thomas Stokes down to the inside. He has help with Dayton Taylor. They'll get back in line behind Jacob Alicia. Alicia has the bottom over Casey Carrington into turn 2. Gets it down there. Can he drive off with second? Not quite. Carrington re-clears. Battle is on for the lead. They're wrecking in the back. It doesn't matter because we're coming back around turn 3 for the white flag. Mike Husby took a trip through the grass. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 lap to go here at Pocono. No matter what, we're racing back under green flag conditions. It's all up to Daniel Giroux now. Can he get back to Casey Carrington? Carrington looking for 2 races. 1 here in his own league. He thought the World 300 at Charlotte was impossible. Now he leads here at Pocono. Off of strategy now to the lead. Into turn 2, no pressure on back for Carrington. Alicia now tries to move to the rear bumper of Giroux. Stokes in tow. Down the side straightaway. Going into turn 3. All clear, all clear, all clear for Casey Carrington. 1 more long sweeping turn away from being a 2-time winner in season 11. Casey Carrington gets it done at Dover. In Pocono, fuck.
Oh, man, what the hell? Ether! That's for you. I know you're gonna watch. Damn, man. Woo.
And he's got to be ecstatic after that one. 2 wins this season. Epic. I mean, blood-curdling, green-white checkered. That was insane. Daniel Giroux comes home second. Jacob Alicia, personal best and first career top 5, first career top 3. Thomas Stokes 4th, Walker McNulty 5th after restarting to his outside. Dayton Taylor 6th, Ethan again 7th, Christopher Murphy 8th, Jared Ray Hunton 9th, and Christopher Worrell rounds out your top 10. How about that for Casey Carrington? gets to burn it down here at Legacy Pocono. Race 10 of the season, season 2 of his career. Wasn't sure what it'd be like if he never did it again. Well, he's done it twice in 2026. And he'll bring it to a stop. Casey Currington. Can you believe it? He's done it again, twice this season. A winner here at Legacy Pocono.
Man, I saw an 8-car win here last year, and just did it like I think he'd do it. And he was with me tonight.
Well, Casey, 2 wins this season. You have extended this championship points lead. Some are even saying it's over. The league owner has rigged it for himself. But it's been one heck of a season so far. Finally, we're finding true success in top 3s and wins. But overall, very consistent for you to start 2026.
Yeah, I mean, it only took 5 years for me to have a season where I wasn't getting wrecked. So, I guess I was finally due. But I never thought in a million years I'd win Pocono, man. Any version of it. I stuck here, and I just, like you said, survived. I just kept it clean, and things kind of fell my way. Like I told the guys coming off of 3 there, like, it was talk about an unearned win. I wasn't the fastest car on probably any lap, but man, to get it done, and I can go into Sonoma and have some fun. I mean, I know Curtis had some bad luck, unfortunately. The gap's going to be probably enormous now, so I can go to Atlanta, one of my favorite tracks, Nashville, my home track, and Sonoma, and have some fun and hope my internet stays together. I almost lagged out twice in a week now, or 2 weeks in a row now. So.
All righty. Well, Casey, I'm going to send you back down. Congratulations on the win here at Pocono.
All right, thanks. Get well soon. He's here.
We'll send him back down. Daniel Giroux, P2 for him. Giroux. Rowdy up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Well, Daniel, I mean, Casey Carrington looked like he just had a better car there at the end, maybe some tire advantage, but hey, to hang on to second, I think this is your first top 3 of the season, maybe first top 3 of your career.
Yeah, it's, I think this is second best finish of the season. I think I got second at Daytona. But yeah, no, I ran out of gas going into pit road on the cooldown lap, if you want to know how close it was. Really I just didn't have the tires. I think I was on like 30 lap tires or something like that, and Casey was on like maybe 4 lap tires with how many green flag laps there were, and it was just never gonna happen. But hold on, so that was pretty cool.
Really good, and you did hold on. Daniel Giroux, congratulations on P2.
Thank you.
We'll send him back down, rounding out your podium. Career best for my boy Jacob Alicia, 3rd at Pocono, and I know you love this track.
Yeah, Pocono and I seem to get together, get well along together, man. My adrenaline is freaking pumping right now, man. I can barely talk.
Talk about this race for you. We saw you just outside the top 10 most of the day. The pit cycle happens, the yellow falls at the right time, and you get to restart at the top 5. Were you pretty confident you could keep it up here and get this 3rd place finish?
I definitely had top 5 in mind on those last couple of restarts. Track position is worth so much here. It's really hard to pass, and once you do pass, it always seems to put you a half second behind the guy in front of you again. So it's really, really difficult to pass. So I really played my cards right. Got up in the standings when the yellows were coming out at the end there, and really gave myself a shot to not only finish well but almost win the thing.
Indeed, you did almost win. Great top 3 for you. You're getting closer. I was excited for you tonight. Congratulations on top 3.
Thanks, Noah.
We'll send him back down. Ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude on-track action here in the All-America Cup Series on Thursday nights. And it was one heck of a race at Legacy Pocono. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Next week, we're getting close to the end of the season. It's Sonoma. Have a good night, everybody.